Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, the Russians are bragging, or at least they're just reporting, that they killed about 130 mercenaries. Well, let's find out what's the context and who says what. This article comes from Al Mayadin, so this is not a Ukrainian or Russian source. And I don't know where these guys got this piece of information. And this is the title of the article. Russia says eliminated 130 foreign mercenaries plus, so more than 130, and 90 troops in Ukraine. Let's see. The Russian armed forces have eliminated more than 130 foreign mercenaries in the Donetsk People's Republic during a major offensive. Now this was before the 2 days that ended up, it seems like, the 2 days of ceasefire. The Russian airspace forces bombed the deployment site of the Ukrainian Army's Foreign Legion in Donetsk People's Republic, which saw over 130 mercenaries meeting their demise over the past 24 hours, Defense Minister spokesperson Lieutenant General Igor Konashenkov reported. I'm quoting, precision strikes by the Russian airspace forces against the temporary deployment sites of Foreign Legion units in areas near the settlements of Maslyakovka and the city of Krematorsk in the Donetsk People's Republic eliminated over 130 foreign mercenaries, the spokesperson said. See how interesting? They call them mercenaries, and here we say that we hear that the Russian bombarded the deployment site of the Ukrainian Army's Foreign Legion. Now, the Foreign Legion is considered, volunteering army. That means full of volunteers who just said, I want to fight for Ukraine against evil Russians. And the pay is the same as the money that a regular Ukrainian soldier receives. Now, I stated this before. This is how certain things work sometimes. This is the contract through the Foreign Legion, right? Yeah, this is a contract they sign with the Foreign Legion, which obviously is on the paper, signature, contract. Here is your badge, here is the Ukrainian flag, here is a little heart, weapons, you go in. But if this guy gets killed, you're going to find on his possession what I told you, and the little permit or the little badge that says, well, I'm a volunteer of the Foreign Legion. Now, not French Foreign Legion, but Ukrainian Foreign Legion. What you don't know, or we don't know, is what if this guy has 2 or 3 other contracts outside of Ukraine, which those guys recruited him in the first place, and then they dropped him here, and I'm a volunteer, but actually he's a volunteer, an employee of another company outside of Ukraine that has another contract with this guy, a BBBB contract with a company TTTT, and then he makes this amount of Lili money. Let's not be naive, but do I have the evidence? I don't. So you got me on this one. I'm not saying that's the reality. I'm saying, what if? And we know that the Wagner Group is a mercenary bunch of bad dudes, but we know that the Foreign Legion is a bunch of angels. So let's see what else these guys say. Additionally, Konashenkov revealed that the Russian forces eliminated around 90 Ukrainian troops during an offensive waged on the DPR. And I'm quoting, as many as 90 Ukrainian servicemen, 2 tanks, 5 combat armored vehicles, and 7 motor vehicles were eliminated as a result of damage inflicted on the enemy by combined firepower in areas near the settlements of Krasnoye, Petrovskoye, Nevelskoye, Georgievka, and Pobeda in the Donetsk People's Republic, the spokesperson said. Well, I wanted to read as accurate as I could. So if you look on the map, you kind of know where that happens. So I don't know, build trust, I guess. So it's not like I made up shit here. Anyway, this comes after the Russian Defense Ministry said that 63 Russian soldiers were killed, that was Monday, after Ukrainian forces fired missiles on the temporary deployment facility of the Russian troops in Makivka, DPR. As a result, the shelling, I'm quoting, as a result of shelling of the temporary deployment unit by 4 missiles with high explosive warheads, 63 Russian servicemen were killed. The Defense Ministry statement read. The DPR has been largely subjected to Ukrainian shelling for the past few months, with Kiev's troops shelling the region from the northwestern village of Orlivka. All right, well, this is what they say. Over 130 mercenaries from the Foreign Legion, and then you had 90 Ukrainian servicemen, 2 tanks. It's okay, more tanks will come to Ukraine now that we know the green line was given. And they said 7 motor vehicles were eliminated as a result. Okay, 5 combat armored vehicles. Don't worry about it, they're coming. They're sending the Madras, Maderas, whatever they call the Germans. They're on their way. They send the Bradleys, the Americans. The French are sending their AMK, so-called light tanks. So yeah, you're gonna get it. The Poles will want to send Leopard. The Finland wants to send Leopards too. Germany is about to send a Leopard 2 as well. The Americans in the end will send some Abrams over there, maybe, or maybe something below that. They don't take a chance of giving Ukrainian generals some latest technology so they can take it and pass it and make a lot of money. If you know what I mean, I'm just joking. Nothing like this happened. Anyway, or will ever happen. Ever. Because we got about 1,000 inspectors over there. Yeah, that's what we have. About 1,000 inspectors that yeah, okay, 1 tank, 2 tanks, that goes to Sergei and his group, this goes to Vladimir and his group, it goes to whatever, yeah, Ivan, and so on. Yeah, that's how it is. Mercenaries everywhere. Everywhere. Believe me, the Ukrainians will end up having only these legionnaires fighting for them. The Ukrainian army will pretty soon will be non-existent, and when the Russians were going to blow up left and right, and they're going to find only this kind of legionnaires. You can't ask them what kind of languages they speak, but you can look at them and figure out probably that they're not really Ukrainians. But who cares? Who cares? I mean, if you fight for freedom and love and democracy, I mean, who am I to judge that? Anyway, I'm telling you, we're going to be a fight between the mercenaries here. It's not going to be a fight between the army, which is a good thing. Why am I saying it's a good thing? It's like you give the Romanian nation, you let's say all of a sudden you give him the Second Amendment to the US Constitution, the right to bear and carry weapons. If you give this to the Romanians, probably in the first week you're going to get rid of the idiots. Why? Because they're going to see pay visits to one another. Instead of getting in arguments and fist fighting, they're going to say what? A palm. And then after about 2 weeks, you just repealed the amendment, and you got rid of, I would say, a quarter of, more than a quarter of Romanian male population and female population. That's a way to help them release their anguish. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.